Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex.
For a second and let's talk. Yo, DJ, roll that beautiful champagne footage.
Oh my life, oh my life, heard the secret. It was, if I've been seeking this special secret. This is something that I've been trying to put my friends on, and I finally found it, you know. This is a champagne secrets moment. I want to share it with y'all, so tap in. Scoot up for a second. Let's toast.
Bottle pop, truth drop, welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every
Champagne Gang, FizzFam, Confidante. Welcome to the chalet located in the Champagne City. You see it, you see it. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm the Empress, and you are joining me for grown discussions and bubbly banter. Over here, we get classy with a twist, huh? A little clink with chaos with a side of charm. So if you're ready to sip, savor, and spill, baby, grab your favorite glass of bubbly. Kick your feet up on one of those chase lounges. Say hi to a few people in the chat. And let's get ready to get into it. Do me a favor and drop some champagne glasses in the chat if you can hear me. If the music isn't too loud. I see you, Father Law. Welcome. Yeah, she a little sassy, a little classy, you know, you know. Niecy B, my love, welcome. Let's get ready to get into it. It looks like the game is in the house. There you go, progressive one. Welcome in. Y'all see me sporting my, y'all. I don't care what y'all say. Cowgirl for life. You see it. Yeah, you do. You see it. She one of them. Yes, she is. But y'all, we started a conversation on yesterday. Wait, who's saying no? Who's it? Bro, yeah, she's a cowgirl and is. This ain't Texas. She one of them. Yes, she is. But y'all listen, we covered this story on yesterday of these trifling mamas. So this gonna be part two.
Bottle
Can
popping,
y'all
sherry
still
drop.
hear the
Welcome
music?
to the show.
Okay, there we
Champagne
go.
secrets, let your power grow.
Excuse
Every
me.
video spark
Still
ignite
getting
your
over this
inner light.
trifling cold.
Raise
So
a glass to the
because
future.
yesterday, y'all,
Shining
we
bright.
covered the story of the
Empowerment is the
mama, this
goal.
trifling mama who left her and
Mysteries,
abandoned her
life's own
kids.
secret code.
Um,
Step by
we
step,
wanted to
tap
continue
in,
it
find
because,
your flow.
you know,
With champagne
this is getting
secrets,
out of hand.
gonna
It is
glow.
really getting out of hand. If you go and search at the number of individuals, who are harming and leaving their children, it's really at an alarming rate. Everybody that you see on this screen is a mama. This is just a few of them. A mama who has abandoned and left her kids for some of the most idiotic reasons that I can even think to discuss. And somehow we don't think our children are in trouble. And we need to stop the whole turn up and kicking it and live my best life and say, hold on, y'all, everybody needs to turn around and focus on these children, because if we don't, we're going to lose a whole generation. Where's the grandmamas that check on their grandkids to make sure they okay? I'm confused. Where are the families who step back and say, nah, one child in this family is all children in this family. So if you hurt one, maybe it's like you done hurt all of them, and we gonna bring the wrath of God down on you. Where are those families at? Because how does this keep happening? And either no one in the family seem to know about it, or no one in the family seem to do anything about it. That's my concern with all of this. What happened to the family structure? What happened to family over everything? We even in families just like this.
Hey, that ain't got shit to do with me. That ain't got shit to do with me. That ain't got shit to do with me. That ain't got shit.
Yeah, that's how we be. Off in the club. Living right next door to monsters. And we don't care. We don't care. Because it ain't got shit to do with us. Until it is one of us. Then we want the world to rally around us. So we gonna get into it. Yeah, we gonna cover these as I call them, monster moms. And we're gonna talk about some of these kids who have been abandoned by their so-called parents, who are supposed to love and undergird and cherish and make sure they are okay.
With champagne secrets, gonna glow.
That's crazy. But hold on one second. before we get there, because y'all been, first of all, 2025 really been cutting up. Really been cutting up. So there was yet another. See, here's the problem, right? Because we're supposed to be planning a Champagne City and Lockville link up in Vegas in October 2025, right? Problem is, I ain't getting on no plane because y'all and these planes are really out of control. I don't know what's going on in the airwaves. I don't know who is switched on and electromagnetic pulse and electromagnetic field. I don't know who switched it on, but I got a problem. That the planes are having a problem staying in the air. Now, not only are they having a problem staying in the air, they're also having a problem landing. So hold on one second. Let me get this pulled. Y'all like that music? It sound good. So check this out.
Oh, 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 no, 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 no.
We are seeing for the first time the frightening crash landing of the Delta flight that rolled and ended up upside down in Toronto. This is Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. The video now part of the investigation. We are live with the breaking developments as we come on the air here for you. Good morning. This is Eyewitness News at 11. We're live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm Philip Palmer. Giovanna is off today. We want to get right to ABC's Rena Roy. She is live in Toronto with what we're learning about the investigation. Plus, Rena, these images of the plane rolling on the runway, just incredible.
Yeah, just remarkable video, Philip. That's absolutely right. And we just heard from airport officials here a short time ago. They are calling the flight attendants heroes for getting all the passengers out safely. And it's being called a miracle that everyone survived.
New details emerging about the chaotic final moments of Delta Flight 4819. Investigators are reviewing this video of the jet as it came in for a landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Passenger John Nelson describing hitting the runway extremely hard.
It was just incredibly fast. There was a giant firewall down the side. I could actually feel the heat through the glass. And then we were going sideways. I'm not even sure how many times we tumbled.
Passengers hanging upside down in the cabin, held in by their seatbelts. In this video obtained by ABC News, crew members seen.
And y'all still getting on planes in 2025? Baby, I'll take a boat. I'll take some skis. I'll take a hoverboard. I'll take a motorcycle. But I promise you one thing that I won't take. You can reach me by airplane. Nope. No, I can't. Baby, no. Bye. Sayonara. Are you sick? What is wrong with the planes that the planes cannot stay in the air? What is the problem? I promise you, probably not one of those individuals on that plane had dry pants when they got off. What do you mean we landed and then just start rolling? Just stop, drop, and roll. Like that's what we're on right now. That's what we doing in 2025. Is that? Hold on, y'all. Let me take this off so y'all can see my eyes. Is that what we doing in 2025? These people are up damn side down in an arrow over the plane. Y'all ain't gonna convince me this okay. This is normal. In whose world? I have never in the history of me heard of this many planes going down at the same time. Never. Just back to back to back to back to back. Then the military. The ones we put all the money into, the military planes, can't even stay in the air in the United States or overseas. And somebody want to tell me something ain't going on? That this is just no? Are y'all crazy? You couldn't pay me to get in the air right now. You probably couldn't pay me to do a walkthrough on a plane right now. No, ain't gonna be able to do it. Maybe y'all could, but no, thank you. Hold on.
Bottle pop, truth drop. Welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power
Welcome,
grow.
Locks. You know, y'all always come through and show out. What's going on, Lock family? Welcome to the Champagne City. Yes, welcome. Father Lock be bringing them through. You know I'm gonna start. You know. Niecy B. Progressive said the Lord's plane has been going and coming. Empress, Spirit Airlines, the Lord's plane. I'm just saying, because I ain't never had an issue on Spirit. Never. That's the only one ain't been affected by this. There's been Delta. This is Delta. There's been American. American. United had the issue. All of the small planes, because there was another crash just today over Arizona. I don't know what's going on in Arizona right now, but y'all all need to like go on y'all knees and go to the Lord in prayer. Like, not this new prayer that everybody be doing, you know, when they win an award. No, I'm talking about like the old school prayer. Y'all know what I mean? Like the old school prayer, like, Father, I come before you, knee bowed and body bent. You know, one of those old school prayers, and seek the Lord and find out what's going on. Because until aviation or somebody comes before us and tells us what's going on, I ain't getting enough light. Nope. Do y'all know how long it took me to get into a plane the first time? Do y'all realize how long it took? Do y'all really know? To turn around, and just when I'm starting to get comfortable. And the reason why I got comfortable is because I fell in love with Vegas. That's what happened. So I got comfortable getting on the flight because I was headed to Vegas. Come on, y'all. It's Vegas. Now y'all crashing all of that. Because we supposed to do a meet and greet in Vegas. All of y'all that want to go, you know, just email me. champagnesecrets@gmail.com. But we're going to do a Champagne Secrets and Lockville meet and greet in Vegas. Those who want to come, we'll probably plan a big meet and greet. But we are actually doing now. This is going to be for, like, you know, the horror heads. Y'all see how I pronounce that? Because usually when I say it, it sounds like horror heads. So for all the horror heads, it's going to be like a paranormal adventure type thing, because one of my favorite hotels, I found out, is supposedly haunted. So me and Father Locke have been talking about doing like a 24-hour like live stream in that hotel just to see. So y'all know, if black people and scaredom don't quite mix together, but we gonna figure it out for real. But welcome in, Lockville. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for coming in and being a part of the live. That's amazing, because I got a subscription. I played around with Owned a little bit. Y'all know I like to do the creative things. So I played around with it a little bit. We're going to do some more videos on like the more creative side. I don't know if I'm going to make a members only or just put them out there and let's just have fun. Because those of you who know, I usually stream from OBS because I do like the creative ability and the ability, like this background that you see behind me, I created all that. So usually when y'all see me in front of the desk or all of the stuff flashing in and out in videos, even the Hollywood Untolds. Like, people keep telling me I need to do more of those. Do y'all know the editing process that goes into this stuff when you release a video and you're a producer? Baby, listen. One 11-minute video can take probably about 8 hours from research to finished production. So that's just one 11-minute video that just took 8 hours to do. So, but I love it. I have fun. So that's why I'm usually in OBS. So this is a new platform for me. We playing around with some stuff. So let's get back into this plane, because like I said, I ain't getting on no damn plane in 2025. Y'all drop in the comments and let me know, are y'all flying? Y'all taking flights? Because I know I released a video that said catch flights, not feelings. But at this point, baby, catch your feelings, because the flights ain't making it. So I feel like your feelings might be a little safer. I just disregard everything that I said in that video, catch flights, not feelings. Because at this point, baby, your feelings are good. They good. We can work through your feelings. We can work through it together. Just talk to me about your feelings. But these flights, I can't control them. Yeah, and I would prefer that my confidant stay on the ground. Now, I can't tell you what to do. What I'm telling you is the planes are having a problem staying in the air. So you might want to stay on the ground. It might be safer. That's my opinion. So, let's finish this video and see these babies upside down trying to climb out of the plane.
Standing on the ceiling.
Drop it! Come on!
Helping passengers scramble to escape.
The crew of Delta Flight 4819 heroically led passengers to safety, evacuating a jet that had overturned on the runway on landing that was amidst smoke and fire. I thank each and every one of these heroes.
The Delta regional jet departed from Minneapolis Monday for Toronto with 76 passengers and 4 crew members, landing around 2 p.m. local time.
Just so you are, there's people outside walking around the aircraft there. Yeah, we've got it. The aircraft there's upside down and burning.
Emergency crews racing to the plane as the dazed passengers escaped. 21 people injured and taken to the hospital, including a child, but amazingly, everyone survived.
Look at the hull. Look at that cabin. It's intact. That saved lives. If that cabin had broken apart, if the hull had broken apart, this probably would have had a much different outcome.
And the NTSB is assisting Canadian aviation officials as they work to determine the cause of this crash. Philip.
So, I don't know. Y'all catching flights? Because I can't do it. So, like I said, we're going to have a discussion about Vegas. And I don't know, are we carpooling, taking a bus? We renting a couple, black SUVs. What are we doing? Because by aeroplane, I ain't going to be able to do it. Not at all. So I wanted y'all to see that. Another thing I wanted y'all to check out. Did y'all realize that today A$AP Rocky was found not guilty on all them charges? Baby, Rihanna love her some him. Do you hear me? Rihanna loves her some him. That girl, I bet you that girl put up bank for them 2 attorneys. Because them 2 attorneys seem to me to be with the shit. Like, for real, for real. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up for you. I see some more locks coming through. Hold on a second. I wish I would have been on OBS so I could have streamed them names. If y'all don't come through, welcome. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. Check this out, y'all. But before we do, Rakshina, Lock, you ain't miss it, boo. Welcome. Come on in. Join us. Niecy B said renting is fine with her, because I'm just saying, listen, because no planes, no flights. No, thank you. Tearing this. Welcome in. Cam, welcome in. I'm missing anybody. All these locks come through to bless the channel. Riri wasn't about to be without Rocky. She told the judge, I need my hubby ASAP. She told him, I need him and I need him now. Do you hear me? Free my man. That's my man and I'ma stick beside him. That's what she told the judge. Skip what all y'all talking about. My man, my man, my man. She wasn't finna play. You see the way he looked? Hold on one second. Let me show it to you because you might not have seen it. But just in case you didn't, check this out.
The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California. The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California versus Joaquin Mayers. Case number BA 508142-01. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the
There she go. Do y'all see that face? Tell me that girl ain't in love. Tell me her don't love her some Rocky. You see the way he said, okay, let me dap y'all up. I'll come celebrate y'all in a minute. I need to get to my woman. Yes, I do. I ain't even mad at her. But when we pull up the article, because y'all know I haven't really been following the trial. Y'all know I stepped away from doing a whole lot of celebrity stuff. Now, those who know. So I haven't really been following the trial, but I did pull up some today. And y'all listen, this is crazy. He got
Have a seat. Get the audience. Now get the audience. Or nice audience.
Hold it down. The verdict has to be.
Hey, that boy clean too. Y'all gotta give it to him. Drop some champagne glasses in the chat, cause that boy clean. ASAP came in real clean. Braids lean to the back, clean. In my Rihanna voice, he need me. Girl, period. That boy came in there with that just in case on, baby. He was clean, hair freshly done. You hear me? Oh my God. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Repeat again. We, the jury, above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the semi-automatic firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B. A felony is charging count one of the information this 18th day of February 2025, jury seat number 9, 4-person. All right. Title of court and cause. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the crime of assault with firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B. A felony of charging count 2 of the information this 18th day of February 2025, juror seat number 9, 4-person.
Hey, how much y'all want to bet like one of them made somebody an offer they couldn't refuse? Ooh, not ASAP got backed by the mafia. Not so. Say it ain't so. Tell me he don't give you like Tony Montana, like Scarface. Tell me he don't give you like Grado's uncle. Like not quite, you know, the Don.
During this trial, I watched you periodically. You did what we asked of you.
Hold on. Nisha said, Rihanna said, not this one. He gonna stay shining bright like a diamond. How much you need? Cause period. Rihanna said, how many of these bras and panties I got to sell to get him out? How much lip gloss and lipstick? What you need? Another EP? All she would have had to do was drop. Respectfully, he got Bronx tails. Oh my goodness, y'all.
The very beginning, which is to give both sides a fair trial, pay attention, use your common sense, apply the law, and base your verdict on the evidence. I know you took extensive notes, and you took this as seriously as any jury could. We cannot have jury trials without folks like you. So you certainly have my gratitude. I want to extend to you my best wishes. Again, thank you.
So I wanted y'all to see that. And for those of you who don't, hold on one second.
Bottle pop, truth drop. Welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video spark ignite your inner light.
I want to pull up this article for you really quick.
Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries. Life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets.
Okay, so it says the strangest details from. No, hold on, let me see. Pull it up. Here we go. All right, the strangest details from A$AP Rocky's felony trial. In a happy ending for Los Angeles trial that was shaping up to be music video ready, A$AP Rocky has been acquitted for 2 felony assault charges. The rapper and future Met Gala host has been found not guilty of firing a gun directed at former friend A$AP Rocky, real name Terrell Efron. In 2021, Rocky, Rakim Myers, had entered a not guilty plea, letting the trial play out in court in front of a jury and his partner and mother of his children, Rihanna. His not guilty plea for the 2 counts of felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm came from his defense that it was a prop weapon and no bullets were discharged. Y'all, please. Please. Really? He got off and his defense was it was a prop gun? A prop gun, y'all, for real? These lawyers, like, are different. Like, the level of stuff that they getting these people off on. Like, when Young Thug's lawyer said, thoroughly humble under God is what Thug stood for. Y'all, please. Please. He got off because he said it was a prop gun. So that's what rappers are riding around with now. Prop guns. Prop guns. And clearly they believed it is the problem. Lord goodness. But let's continue. No bullets were discharged. But that wasn't even the most dramatic part. There were also allegations of AI manipulated messages, a testimony from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erica Jane's son, and he's a cop, speculation of a President Trump pardon, and a Johnny Depp connection. There is also a significant Depp connection to the other big Hollywood trial right now between the It Ends With Us cast. I didn't even know about that, y'all. We need to look that up. It Ends With Us. Rocky was facing a maximum sentence of 24 years. Here's everything you missed in that trial. So what was he accused of? He faced 2 counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm after a street fight with a former friend and crew member, A$AP Rocky. The altercation occurred November 6, 2021 in the heart of Hollywood. The Los Angeles District Attorney alleged that during that fight, Rocky drew a semi-automatic weapon and fired twice in Relly's direction. Rocky maintained that he was only holding a prop gun. So how did the prop gun and the allegations of AI-generated voice recordings become a part of this case? Well, Rocky's attorney, Joe, Lord, I almost called this man Tapioca. Taco Pina said that his client turned down a plea deal because the evidence will show that Rocky held nothing more than a prop gun and that all of Rocky's friends knew that Rocky carried a prop gun. Yes, he was offered a plea deal but is not interested because he is actually innocent. The terms were 180 days in jail, 3 years probation, and a few other minor conditions on a plea to an assault with a gun charge. So he said Rocky was advised by his security team to carry a prop gun because he was the victim of a stalker. He said Rocky received a prop gun a few months earlier when he was with Rihanna shooting a video. Okay, so I'm confused. You're the victim of a stalker. So your security team tells you to carry a prop gun. Wouldn't you want to have something to protect yourself if you are the victim of a stalker? Am I missing something here? I don't understand how that was a good idea. Unless they're saying you carry the prop gun, we have the real guns. If something goes off, then it's not you dealing with it, it's us, and you're protected. Now I can understand that, but outside of that, why would they tell you to carry a prop gun if you have a stalker? Even in that situation, because what if you caught by yourself somewhere with your wife and all you got is a prop gun? Like, what? What y'all say? Hold on one second. Hold on. Watching from Nigeria. Well, you better come through, Nigeria. I love it. Okay, how do you pronounce this? Okay, Nasunji. Did I pronounce it right? Nasunji. That is gorgeous. I love it. I absolutely love it. Welcome in, y'all. More locks in the building. Just flooding my chat. Just flooding my chat with locks, and we love it. Can y'all do me a favor? Champagne gang and lock fam, throw some champagne glasses and some locks and keys in the chat for me. Let the people know that we are locked and loaded over here. Yes, we are. But again, that confuses me because exactly why would you want to have a doggone prop gun and you have a stalker? These stalkers out here are crazy. So basically y'all have like the gist of what was going on and why it was going on. So hold on one second. I wanted to show y'all that. Here's my thing, y'all, right? I am so glad that he was able to, get his freedom if he's actually, had a prop gun. Here's my problem, right? Somehow we don't know when we get to a certain place to stop. You made it. You've arrived. What do you still have to prove? And I'm not specifically speaking just about ASAP Rocky. I'm talking about a lot of these young people and older people alike in the industry. Why can't we get to a place where, you know what, I made it. I got the money. I got the houses. I got the cars. I got the niggas. I got the bitches. I got what I wanted. I've achieved it. Let me just be chill and enjoy having arrived, having made it. Why can't we do that? But every time we turn around, it's more and more of them caught up. Trial after trial, RICO after RICO, case after case, because you don't know how to get somewhere and sit the fuck down. Old school OGs would tell you if you're going to get in the game of powdered milk and oregano, you have to plan an exit strategy. from powdered milk and oregano. Somehow, we've gotten to a place where we never know how to plan an exit strategy. What is your plan B?
Hot truth drop. Welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow.
If this doesn't work, what's your other lane?
Raise a glass to the future, shining bright.
And if it does work and you've arrived, what are you still trying to accomplish by still being a part of street shit and gang shit and nigga shit? What? You made it. You got the house on the hill. You done had so many women in and out of your bed you can't even remember the last count from yesterday. You getting your King Solomon and Epsilon on. And you still want more. That's why greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. That's why when you watch shows like Trap Queens and you watch shows about people who got caught up, they didn't get caught up because they was in the game and they wasn't good at the game. They got caught up because they didn't know how to get out the game. They had no exit strategy. Y'all don't know when to stop, when to say enough is enough, when to stop being greedy. Y'all don't remember watching that movie Heat? And then he said, never get attached to any, listen, I love me some gangster films. I do. Carlito's Way, all of them. I love some gangster films. But in the movie Heat, with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, when he looked at him and told him, you never get attached to anything that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds flat. If you feel the heat, maybe it was 15 seconds, but you get the drift. If you feel the heat around the corner. Y'all don't remember that line? Y'all don't know how to walk away. Y'all don't know how to stop. And they keep showing you they don't know how to stop. Do you know why? Because over and over and over again, we keep seeing them get caught up. But they keep getting caught up on dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. I was watching a video the other day. This dude was transporting, what was it? A kilo? Do you know why this nigga got pulled over and got caught? He was texting. You get greedy. You get careless. You don't care anymore. When are you going to stop? You start thinking you're invincible when you get greedy. And that's why it's one of the 7 deadly sins. Because at some point we got to stop. We do. But y'all listen, we are going to get into these mamas, but I did want to share that with y'all. We're going to get into these mamas because we've been talking about these trifling mamas. We constantly see women. And don't get me wrong. I am all for women empowerment, and I'm all for women looking out for each other, and I'm all for women uplifting each other. But I'm also for women telling women when we are wrong and when we are on bullshit and when we need to do better. Every now and then a crown has to be adjusted. Otherwise, it's going to hit the ground and shatter. And what's even worse is when you don't realize your crown needs to be adjusted. You're just going about your business like everything is okay. In the Bible, it says that's like looking at yourself in the mirror and walking away and doing nothing. Where are our priorities as women? Where? As mothers, aunties, siblings, where are our priorities? Women were created nurturers. Somewhere we forgot that when we decided to adopt this whole women empowerment and I am the woman and I can do anything a man can do. Sorry, speak for yourself. No, I can't. No, nor do I want to. I let men do what is for men to do. No, I don't want to do everything that he can do. No, I don't. I don't want to be him. But when that started, all of a sudden we forgot how to be nurturers. Because we were told we didn't have to be. But then what happened is you forgot in the midst of you being told you didn't have to be. Then you started having children. You started procreating. And you took that same mentality into your mothership and into your motherhood with your children. And now we have a whole bunch of children who are not being loved, who are not being cared for, who are not being looked after because we have instilled into a woman that she doesn't have to be a nurturer. But we forgot to tell her dumb diddy ass because somehow we thought that they would be intelligent enough to know that once you start having children, that ideology and mindset needs to change. But we forgot about that part. Because we're women liberation.
Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video.
And it's all about, it's our body. We can do what we want to do. We can live how we want to live. We can be independent. Come on, y'all. Our children are in trouble. So we're going to get into it because I want to show you there has been an update from the Kelly Marie Bryant case. That's the young lady that we were covering yesterday that left her children in those absolutely abhorrent conditions. Hold on one second before I pull up the update. I want us to just go back so that you can remember what these children had to deal with. Hold on one second, y'all. It's uploading. See, this would have just been a new scene had we been in OBS. It would have. It would have been so much easier. All right, this was the house she was in. Let me pause. That was the toilet. And I know a lot of people got it blurred out. You know the reason I didn't blur it out? Because y'all need to see the kind of monsters that's out there amongst y'all and what they are really doing to these children. We are in a day and age where we want to censor everything. We want to sugarcoat and make everything nice for people. No, we don't want people to be able to say the R word or SA, so everything has to be an initial. And when we start censoring and telling people what they can and can't say, can and can't share, what you do is take away from the crime that was committed and what the individuals had to go through. No, this doesn't need to be blurred out. It needs to be seen so that people can actually see what this monster put these children through for years. We're in 2025. The mama left, as far as they know, apparently around 2021. Toilet overflown, walls covered. Can you imagine the smell, the toxicity, the biohazard that this creates? Look at the trash. They're sleeping on the floor. Look at the tub to the right. No, people need to see this. Don't hide it. Put it out there so people can see these monsters. This is absolutely insane. Mama was 34 years old. Just one day walked out and decided to leave her children. They no longer mattered. She no longer needed to be mama. and she didn't have to. It's her prerogative. She can do what she want to do. So she walked out, left her children in this condition, brought them food every week, a loaf of bread to last for 4 days. 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 12-year-old. The children's toenails were so long, they could barely walk out the house. The boy came out the house one time because he said he wanted to feel the grass against his feet. Are you? So we gonna get into these moments. We are. But I want to play for you this update on this case. Let me make sure I have it open. Okay, here we go.
With piles of garbage and refuse several feet high, including large amounts of human excrement. The children were afraid to come out of their hiding places and to speak with the police. Police had to repeatedly advise the children that they were there to help and they were safe. The children's bodies and clothing were covered in feces, and the girls had difficulty physically walking outside of the residence. In addition to the physical difficulty, they appeared to be and were immediately overstimulated upon leaving the residence. All 3 children were transported via ambulance to the hospital and showed signs of severe neglect. At the hospital, the children struggled with completing basic hygiene tasks like flushing a toilet and brushing their teeth because they had not done it in years. The children were forensically interviewed and described having virtually no physical contact with their mother, suspect Bryant, or the outside world in several years. The girls had not left the residence in several years, and her son had only left the home to go into the yard approximately 2 times.
Get me back up here to the front. Hold on 1 second. Wait 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, because let me get it together. Hold on. Darius, my love, welcome to the Champagne City. Everybody drop some champagne glasses in the chat for Darius Love Hall Lock. That's gonna be your name from now on, just so you know. Those who know, you know where it came from. But welcome to the Champagne City. Come in, grab your glass, say hi to a few people, hang out for a while, hit the like button if you like, hit the subscribe button, join us in the chat. We are so happy you decided to join us, because Lockville showed out. That wasn't the one. Where it go? Okay, let me pull it back up. Yeah, I'm gonna have a whole lot of editing that I gotta do in this doggone video.
The defendant instructed the kids that they were not to answer the door or leave the house. All 3 children expressed fear about what their mother's response would be if they left the home. Defendant concealed the children from family and friends and lied about who was caring for the kids and their whereabouts. The defendant took the active steps of lying and concealing to make sure the children went undiscovered, and she took these actions knowing that her children would suffer serious physical and emotional harm as a result. Those are the statements made in the swear-to this morning. And again, these are allegations. I do want to point out and thank all the officers that were on scene that day. I personally viewed the videos and images and was struck at what a difficult situation it was, but in the face of that difficulty, offered compassion to these kids. I also want to thank Detective John Brish and Lieutenant Sam Marsban for their dedication in working this case, and of course the assistant prosecutors involved, Chief of Administration Betsy Haig, Chief of our SVU Sarah Green, APA Lauren Benninger, Chief of the Juvenile Division Kelly Collins, and APA Kanika Ferenczi for their diligent efforts in this case. At present, we've not been presented with a request for criminal charges against any other individuals. That does not mean that won't happen in the future. I just can't speak to it at this point. Morally, there is plenty of responsibility to go around for how this was allowed to happen. However, these 3 kids were entrusted to the care of their mother, Kelly Bryant, and the evidence suggests that she effectively abandoned them to a revolting pit of refuse and squalor. There must be consequences for those actions. The defendant is presently in custody. The 3 children in this case were interviewed at Care House, and I want to emphasize how important Care House is to this community. These kids were interviewed in a safe environment by an experienced, trained forensic interviewer, and these interviews are important in all child abuse cases. They allow each child the chance to tell us their story without the influence of the abuser and without using leading questions that could taint their testimony. I can't emphasize enough how important Care House is. If you suspect a child is abused or neglected, you too can report this to CPS. The hotline is 855-444-3911. And I urge anyone who suspects that a child is being abused or neglected to report that using that number. We need to make sure that every child is safe and well cared for. And before I take questions, I just want to remind you that these charges, again, are only allegations, and the defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Questions?
Not having been to the area, neighbors, anybody? I mean, I think what maybe people struggle with is how intimidated by their mother, yes, but how they could not even venture out of the home, or just nobody knowing that they were there. Or can you add context into how that can happen?
I can only comment on what's been placed on the record. That's my ethical duty, but I will say that we see time and time again victims of severe abuse of all ages make decisions that don't seem reasonable to us. And what we know is that that's very common. And there's a multitude of reasons why they didn't leave the home. We just don't know that yet. Yes?
Have prosecutors or deputies interviewed the fathers of the children?
They have, yes.
Multiple fathers or one father?
I think it's already public record that of the 4 kids, there are 2 fathers.
Prosecutor McDonald,
yes.
What stands out about this case to you? I mean, it's a pretty significant child abuse case.
That's a difficult question and a really good question. I said yesterday, and I've said this to the sheriff personally, we say a lot, this is the worst I've ever seen. And I've stopped saying that because every time I say that, I see something worse. It was unbelievable what they were living with for years. Unbelievable. It wouldn't be surroundings where you would want any living creature living in, creature or animal, or particularly human beings. I mean, these kids, not to have even basic hygiene tools. And I guess what stands out the most for me is no love. There was nobody there to care for them for between 3 and 4 years. No parent, nobody physically present to let them know that they were safe and they were loved. Yes?
Did she have any prior contact with CPS or a prior criminal record?
I can't comment on that.
Is she being held on any outstanding charges, or is it just on this and then she'll be arraigned tomorrow?
We are not aware of any other holds or matters that she would be held under. At this moment, she's being held because of these pending charges. Now they're official, and she'll be arraigned, I believe, tomorrow.
Can you provide more context, appreciating what you said about, you mentioned that he would text his mother, one of the older boy. So he had access to a phone apparently, but.
All the children had access to the phones. They all had their own phones.
So would they see her? I've read an account that maybe she dropped some food off weekly, or can you talk about how they survived if they didn't leave the home, how often she came and where she was staying?
There was no, according to the evidence that's been placed on the record, there was no physical contact whatsoever. And I don't think it's accurate to say that they had food dropped off weekly. Sometimes, right. Sometimes it was longer than that.
But
and
she was the one distributing?
No, not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time.
You had said the restroom was not, you said the restroom was not maybe properly functioning in there, but do we know if there was heat or air conditioning in the summer?
I don't have that. That has not been put on the record, but I do not believe that there was. I believe there was heat enough so that the children were at least able to live there. If not, as you know, given the cold temperatures, there would have been signs of freezing to death.
Where was she staying?
I don't have that information. Not there.
And obviously you've charged her, so she thinks I'm assuming then obviously there's competence. So not that there's ever a reason for something of this horrific nature, but any inferences to the why that she just decided to abandon her kids beyond, some may think mental issues, but obviously not if you're charging her.
Right. Without commenting particularly on this case, as the prosecutor over the last over 4 years, I've been asked, and I hear repeatedly that question on all of the terrible, violent, atrocious acts that we see, the why, and the answer is we don't know why. We can't get in the mind of somebody else, but we do know what the evidence shows, and we have the law, and nobody who is not found competent can stand trial. So I can't comment on that right now, but just to say that sometimes there isn't a why. Yes.
Is there any evidence to suggest that there's substance abuse may be involved in him?
I can't comment on that.
Has mom been cooperative?
The defendant has an absolute right to remain silent, so any comment I would make on whether or not she's spoken to the police would be a violation of her rights.
Thank you.
Longer term, can you share what the plan is for the children? And some may wonder if family have taken them in now, how they didn't know about. I'm not trying to assess blame by asking, but where were they prior? How did they not know?
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of questions. Obviously.
Good question. And the thing that I want to stress here is that we are responsible for prosecuting all of the criminal cases in this county. We're also responsible for representing the Department of Health and Human Services in child abuse and neglect proceedings. So we are simultaneously prosecuting the criminal case against mom and the neglect proceeding pertaining to the kids. So we will be asking our client, the Department of Health and Human Services, to file a petition to terminate her rights. So there's just a lot we can't really get into, except I do want to say that our client, the Department of Health and Human Services, their number one priority is the care and welfare of children, and wherever they are placed, they do their due diligence to make sure that is a safe placement. And all I can say is that those questions were asked and obviously satisfied. And the other thing I want to say is there's been such an outpouring in this community, but I would just stress that in the effort to take care of these kids, that we also protect their privacy. And Pontiac, if those of you who don't know, it's a small place and everybody knows everybody, and any outrage is totally understandable, but we want to do as much as we can to protect their placement so that they are protected.
But to be clear, they are not wards of the state. They are with family.
They are in the care and custody of the Department of Health and Human Services, and they are placed through DHHS with a relative placement. Yes, the custody remains with DHHS until otherwise determined by the court. And again, those are two different proceedings. yes, that we are, there was a preliminary hearing yesterday, and we'll continue to provide information about that as that moves along.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you so much.
So y'all, listen, the crazy part about this whole thing is not only will they have to deal with the trauma that these babies have gone through, but now these babies, unless they have a suitable family member that can take them, and I'm not really sure how they can have a suitable family member that can take them, and there was no family member involved since 2021 that was doing checks to make sure these babies were okay, calls, I don't know, a pop-up or two. So I don't know if the children can suitably go to anyone in the family. But here's the other problem. With them now being wards of the state, if they go into the foster care system and they end up in the wrong home, it's going to be a whole new set of trauma that these babies are going to have to work themselves through. This is really crazy what these babies are having to deal with and having to endure at the hands of individuals who are supposed to love, protect, and care for them. And this is what they're dealing with. Y'all, oh my God. So, let's get into some more of these monster moms. Because, you know, we think just the men are the problem. This is the story. Hold on. Of the Ohio mother who left her toddler home for 10 days when she went on vacation. She pleads guilty to aggravated murder. When she returned 10 days later, she found the girl, her daughter, wasn't breathing in the playpen. Yes, she left her baby, her 16-month-old baby, in a playpen by herself, no one else in the house, so that she can go on a vacation. It says Jalen's cries echoed through the quiet streets of Cleveland in the dead, close that, of night. The toddler whimpered and howled, but no one came to her rescue. Her mother, Crystal Candelario, was away on a 10-day summer vacation and had left Jalen alone in a playpen with a few bottles of milk, prosecutors said. A neighbor's doorbell camera captured the 16-month-old's frequent screams, including one around 1 a.m., 2 days after her mother left. But Candelario was hundreds of miles away in Puerto Rico with a male friend, authorities said. After a few days at the beach and another stop in Detroit, she returned home on June 16th last year to find her daughter deceased. She had been gone for about 10 days. She pleaded guilty last month to 1 count of aggravated murder and 1 count of child endangering. At her sentencing Monday, forensic pathologist Elizabeth Mooney told a Cleveland courtroom that children experience the most extreme separation anxiety between 9 and 18 months. She recounted Jalen's excruciating final days. The pain and suffering she endured lasted not only hours, but days. Not days, but possibly even a week, Mooney said, fighting back tears. This feeling of abandonment for days on end, coupled with the pain of starvation and extreme thirst, is a type of suffering I don't think any of us could ever fully fathom. Now, this was a mother. You got a 16-month-old child. You decide that because you want to go to Puerto Rico and hang out with some dude, you gonna leave your 16-month-old for 10 days by herself in a crib with just a few bottles. By herself. And we don't think our children are in trouble. I'm gonna keep saying it. We have a problem going on in the world right now. Right now, I'm gonna have to speak for my hometown because I haven't looked overseas. But in America, in the United of these states, of these Americas, we have a problem with these monsters giving birth to these children. And these children who did not ask to be here, going through hell, torment, and torture at their hands. We have a problem. She should have died just like her child did. That should have been her sentence. You're about to feel every ounce of the pain that you caused to that infant. Being alone, being dehydrated, no food, no comfort, just crying and screaming, days on end. You can't help yourself. Baby can't get up, can't move around, can't get out the crib, can't make a bottle. She ought to experience all of it. All of it. The toddler was found dehydrated and emaciated. A judge sentenced Candelario on Monday to life in prison, marking a final chapter in a case so grim that the investigators involved described it as the most horrific they've witnessed in their careers. Law enforcement officials, including Cleveland Police Sergeant Teresa Gomez, fought back tears as they described the baby's condition. This is a case that will have branded in our minds and in our hearts forever, Gomez said at the sentencing. Assistant County Prosecutor Anna Faraglia played security video of the mother hauling her suitcase to a car on June 6th and returning home on June 16th. Minutes after she returned, she called 911. Please, I need help. Please help. Help me. My daughter is dying. Now, what I want to do now is actually pull up the YouTube clip of this from Law and Crime. Now, hold on. In 1 second. All right, there we go. So this is her sentencing. Check this out. You start it over.
Bottle pop, truth drop. Welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video spark ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room.
Hey, real quick, all of them, Niecy. All of them. You know I can't say it. Niecy, I can't say it, but you can, baby. You can and you did. Thank you so much. Because that part, all of that part. Because what? Black sis, I do not want to destroy your last name. Sinitroff. Did I get that right? Thank you for joining us. And yes, that poor child. Sad to say we have monsters here too. That's insane. This is tragic because these babies didn't ask to be here. They didn't. Traumatizing these kids. Hate to say if some of these kids turn. That was going to be one of my points for tonight. One of the biggest points. We wonder why these kids are so murderous and have such murderous intentions these days. We wonder how these kids grow up to be monsters. Well, hell, they was raised by some monsters. The serial killing men went out and unalived other people. But some of these monsters are the ones that created them. They the ones sent them down that doggone path. Because this is what they had to deal with. For a parent. For a guardian.
Bottle pop, truth drop, welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code, we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within.
So she just didn't give a damn. She didn't want that baby in the first place. No, she didn't. I really don't understand why these women who really don't want these kids, why they don't just leave them at the hospital. Why don't they ask for adoption services to get involved? Why don't they give the child up? Why would you leave a 16-month-old in a playpen in an apartment by themselves? Why? Why? This baby can't even fend for herself and you left her alone? Just helpless. We really don't know the thought processes of babies, what they go through, what they feel, what they think, because they don't have a way to verbalize it themselves. So we don't even know what that baby was feeling in her last moments. We don't even know. All we can do is imagine how we would feel in that moment and then take it and multiply it by a damn million because this is an infant who hasn't even learned how to process emotion. This is sick. This is sick. But we got more.
secrets, let your power grow. Every video spark ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex.
Look at that smile. Uh-oh. Look at that smile. She just walking along the beach, enjoying the water on her toes, just posing for the picture. Not a thought or care, nothing in the world for the baby that she left. Y'all be so desperate for a man. I'm talking to the women right now. Fellas, I'm gonna come down your lane in a second. Y'all be so desperate for a man that y'all throw reason to the wind just to be up under one and get some pipe. What happened to treating yourself like a treasure? What happened to that? What happened to treating what came forth from you like a treasure? Because you're the only one with the ability to do it. What happened to if you don't want children? Lock it up, tie it down, zip it up, paint it up, tape it up. Wrap it up if you don't want children. And again, I say, to you brothers, yeah, I'm down y'all lane now. Y'all shouldn't even want to lay with a woman that has children and she ain't even taking care of them. Before you go out with a woman, the first thing you should be asking her is if she has children, are your babies okay? You got a babysitter there? See, y'all don't ask enough questions. That's why y'all lay down with beauty and end up in a relationship with the beast. That's how that happens. And now you're getting your tires slashed and your windows broken out. And you got a stage 12 clinger. That's how y'all end up in them situations, because y'all don't ask enough questions. If she ain't taking care of her own kids, she definitely ain't gonna take care of yours. If she don't care about her own children, how is she really gonna care about you? Eventually, you're going to become just as expendable as the one that came from inside of her. See, y'all ain't ready for that kind of talk. That ain't the kind of talk that y'all want. Y'all want the kind of talk that tells you the only reason you broke is because you ain't using what's between your legs. You want that kind of talk. But see, y'all don't even know how to do that right, because if you was really doing that, you would make sure you was protected because you wasn't trying to have a baby come out of it. And a lot of y'all did this foolishness because you wanted to trap a man. I don't know why we still have that ideology when that theology has been disproven decade after decade after decade. Yes, somehow, some way, we still feel like we can trap him with a baby. Then we get the baby and then he gone. Now we stressed out. Come on now. Y'all women, us women, and y'all men need to do better with our choices. We need to choose better. We need to choose better who we allow to enter into us women. Turn the camera on. And you fellas need to choose better who you choosing to enter into. But now y'all sitting back and the baby is gone. And where's the pappy? Probably on about his business. This baby didn't have a chance to begin with. A lot of these children don't. These babies are going to have to develop a fight inside of themselves so strong that they pull on what's on the inside of them to make it through some of these households that they're living in. I know how it came out. Some of these households with these households that they living with. And we wonder why our kids are so overly sexualized. Because they got mamas who all they care about is the nigga's pipe game. And they got pappies who all they care about is a broad's head game. And 24/7, all they doing is playing on the game. This is sad. Niecy B said our children are dying left and right. We got over 500,000 kids missing. This is ludicrous. Absolutely damn ludicrous. Because there's no community anymore. That's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about the real. We don't want to talk about the solutions. We want to keep talking about the problems. We don't want to be the solutions. We just want to talk about the problems. We don't want to be the family member that goes out to seek after our family members that we know are going through, to see if there's anything that we can do to make it better, especially when we have the ability to make it better. We don't want to be those. No. We want to get on social media and blast what they don't have. Because we're the Coliseum. And we just want to be entertained. We don't want to help. We don't want to throw a lifeline. We want to see blood for blood. The more blood is shed, the more entertained we are. That's why we have over 500,000 kids missing. Because people don't care until we have to care. Until it's one of ours missing. Then we care. Then we want the world to know, see, and help. But when you was next door to those 3 babies in Michigan, and you was smelling something that smelled like pure death multiplied, smelled like the house was carrying death on its back. And then you got to stop and think about the stench the children were carrying. Because they ain't had no bath. You seen the tub. You seen the sink. You seen the floor. Think about the stench they were carrying because they didn't have a way to wash themselves. This is crazy. Pure craziness. But let's continue.
Champagne secrets, life's complex. secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex.
Hold on one second, y'all. That was not coming through. I tell y'all, ever since we covered them doggone, oh Lord, them robots.
Oh, no. We are seeing for the first time the frightening crash landing of the Delta flight that rolled and ended up upside down in Toronto.
I gotta reshare it. Hold on.
Champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next.
Terrified. Alone.
Did y'all hear that?
Unprotected. To suffer what I heard was the most gruesome death imaginable.
An Ohio mother will spend the rest of her life in prison for leaving her toddler home alone for more than a week, where she starved to death while her mom jetted off on vacation. Prosecutors say 32-year-old Crystal Candelario left her 16-month-old daughter Jalen alone and unattended at her home beginning on June 6 of 2023. Candelario didn't return home until 10 days later on the 16th, and upon returning home, she made the tragic discovery. Her daughter was found unresponsive in what investigators described as a filthy playpen. She had been extremely dehydrated, and the young toddler was pronounced dead at the scene. According to the medical examiner, Jalen's body was extremely emaciated. She weighed less than 14 pounds at the time of her death. Investigators say Candelario left her daughter alone while she vacationed in Detroit and Puerto Rico. She was arrested and booked a day after returning home and discovering her daughter's body. In February of 2024, Candelario pleaded guilty to charges including aggravated murder and endangering children. During Candelario's sentencing, the prosecution said investigators combed through more than 600 hours of Ring camera footage, which actually showed Candelario left her daughter alone for 2 days before she jetted off on her vacation.
If in fact we would have gone to trial, the evidence was going to show that Crystal Candelaria left the state of Ohio on 6/4/2023. She leaves because there is a receipt that's found in her car that she is in Taylor, Michigan. Unbeknownst to Ms. Candelario, her neighbors had Ring doorbell, and the Cleveland Police Department Homicide Unit has gone through 648 hours and videos of the Ring doorbell, which you're going to see in this presentation. Okay. With regards to Ms. Candelaria,
Here's the thing, y'all. She didn't even care. She didn't care. Like, some of y'all, some of the dumbest criminals, like, ever known to man. Like, really. For real. I mean, for real. Because you didn't stop to think about, I don't know, does anybody else have a Ring camera? Can anybody else catch me leaving? Y'all didn't think about nothing. Nothing. Y'all just be doing some of the. She was so in a rush to get out of there. She didn't care. She didn't care of trying to have an alibi. She didn't care of trying to protect herself. She just nothing. Just I'm out of here. I'm headed to Puerto Rico. I'm finna go have a good time. YOLO. You only live once. Let's go. These mamas is out of control. These were some of y'all neighbors, your children that's walking. Y'all need to start paying attention to how the children in your neighborhood look when they leave out the house. It is really time out for that whole ideology that I'm just minding my business. Because if we don't care enough to think about the children, the parents already ain't. Then we leaving the kids defenseless. Then we'll be the main ones on the news talking about it. It is so crazy. I just wouldn't have believed. I thought something, but I just didn't know for sure. No, don't be one of them. Be one of the ones that care enough to do something.
Area, she returns to Cuyahoga County on 6/6 at 7:41 a.m. So at this particular point, we have reason to believe that this child was left alone for 2 days now, and she returns on 6/6/2023.
Prosecutors say after returning on June 6 of 2023, ring camera footage captures Candelario again leaving Cuyahoga County, Ohio, where police cameras later captured her movements in Detroit, Michigan.
Through the search warrants, we were able to retrieve her Spirit airline tickets that showed her departure and her return from Puerto Rico. She was gone from 6/8 to 6/11. And it's interesting, Your Honor, because in the defense memorandum, it says that her abrupt stopping of medications played a significant role in her ability to function as a parent and make sound decisions. So when we look at, these are items from her phone, her actions indicate to us that she is in Puerto Rico having a good time with friends, and that there is not a care in the world about the 16-month-old that was left alone in the pack and play. These pictures show somebody who is showing some discretion and judgment because she's having a good time. Meanwhile, this child is in a pack and play.
The prosecutor said during Candelario's vacation, ring camera video.
How cute this baby is. Just precious. These are the lives that are affected. Helpless. Can't do anything for themselves. Left in the hands of monsters to care for them. Or as we call them, momsters. These mamas that's supposed to be looking out for these babies. But they don't give a damn. Niecy B said the punishment for hurting children don't scare these trifling heathens. It ain't that much penis or partying in the world. No, it can't be, because half of them get off with just a slap on the wrist. And these babies got to deal with the trauma of it for years and years to come. They don't get any psychiatric help. They don't get to sit down with someone and get those emotions and feelings out. They don't get to do that. Mama just get a slap on the wrist because they made a mistake. Not this mama. She got life, thanks be unto God. But that's because this baby passed away. What about all the rest of them that live? Our original mama that we started talking about, with the 3 babies, the 15-year-old, the 13-year-old, and the 12-year-old. Let's watch and see what they get. what she gets for what she did to them, because they're still alive. They lived. What's crazy to me is, do you not know that you get more time if you try to unalive someone and you were unsuccessful than you actually get for unaliving someone? How's never? When it comes to these babies, the only time they see retribution is if they don't make it. If they do make it, the parent just gets a slap on the wrist. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. No, life. Without the possibility of parole. Not only that, they should be spayed and neutered, so you don't have the ability to procreate again. This is crazy.
Captured the sounds of crying from her toddler while she was left unattended. When she returned on June 16th, prosecutors say upon discovering her daughter dead in the pack and play, Candelario redressed the young toddler before calling 911. Portions of that phone call were played before the judge in court, where Candelario can be heard screaming for help.
Please, I need help. Okay, I can't help you if I don't know where you're at, so tell me the address so we can help you. Please, 129 with my okay, is there a single or an apartment? Please. What's your name? Crystal. What's your last name, Crystal? Please, please help me. And what's the circumstance you just disconnected.
The state says despite Candelario's emotional phone call to 911, the next day she went back to Detroit to visit one of the men she had been dating. During her interview with investigators, Candelario claimed she had been home all week and her daughter hadn't been eating well for the past few days. She said she woke up that morning and found Jalen unresponsive.
So that was just Monday and Tuesday of this week. She was throwing up.
Yes.
And then how was she Wednesday and Thursday?
She was with no food, just with a meal, because she was refusing. Maybe it's because she getting vomiting 2 days, before.
Yeah.
So that's why that was scary, because I say, oh my God, maybe go to the hospital.
Another mama that looks absolutely unfazed. Absolutely unfazed by the fact that your child is unalive. That's crazy. You just sitting there telling the story like you went to get a gallon of milk and your baby is gone. And I'm gonna keep saying our babies are in trouble unless we start caring enough to step in and do something, say something, be something in these babies' lives.
Because she doesn't eat anything, and she was lose tiny, her weight. I lose, her weight. But right now, in this morning when I wake up, she was asleep. She sleep every day 12 hours.
Okay.
She sleep like at 9 p.m. through 9 or 10 a.m.
Okay.
12 hours. So in this morning I was sleeping too. I never wake up. She was
what happened? What was going on last night?
Last night she was crying a lot, and I see one moment when I was take a shower, and she was screaming like I don't know, probably she getting pain.
Okay.
Maybe.
About what time was that last night?
Maybe at 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay.
So she was screaming like, probably for pain or something like that. In this morning when I wake up, I took her in the morning for Jaylene, wake up, and she wake up. And when I see her, I see she looks like a really, really dry, like a, ¿cómo se dice cuando una persona se chupa, o sea, kind of like. Yeah.
Oh, like her face was sunken in?
Yeah. Y ahí fue que yo me asusté y dije,
Prosecutors say Jalen died a horrible death, prompting them to bring in the medical examiner, Dr. Elizabeth Mooney, to explain to the judge the terrible and horrendous conditions Jalen suffered.
Unfortunately, this is one of the most tragic and unfortunate cases I've had in my career thus far. So today I speak on behalf of her and her findings with the course of my examination. We received Jalen at the medical examiner's office from the scene of her residence, at which time she was clothed in non-soiled clothing, indicating her body had likely been dressed prior to first responders' arrival, as they had mentioned before. So at autopsy, I examined the body of a very emaciated female toddler. At this point, she weighed 13 pounds. Upon review of medical records, this indicated approximately a 7-pound weight loss since her previous doctor's visit less than 2 months prior to that. The eyes were sunken, and she had temporal wasting in her face. In addition to that, the skin showed markedly decreased turgor, meaning when I pinch the skin, it remains in that tented position, indicating severe dehydration. In addition, there was abundant fecal material present, cakes on the fingers, the fingernails, the hands, the feet, as well as the soles of the feet. The same material.
So you got to stop and think about this, right? If there was fecal matter found on her hands and her fingers and on her fingernails, what do babies do with their hands the most? They immediately go to their what? Their mouth. So this baby was consuming her own feces in that crib. So you got to think about it. A 16-month-old that probably can't do anything but crawl, maybe pull himself up in the crib. Can you imagine how much worse? I can't even think about how much worse it could have gotten than what she already had to go through. But if she would have flipped out that crib, she could have been all over the house. Under a table, knocked something down. Pulled up on something, knocked something down. Stuck something in an outlet, electrocuted herself. Got stuck under a couch, under a chair. Crawled in a cabinet. Pulled down the stove on herself. Got stuck in the refrigerator. Can you imagine how much stuff could have happened with this 16-month-old being at home by herself? Because her mama wanted to run off and get some pepper, get some pipe. This lady is a savage, and what part of her brain did she convince herself it was okay to leave this child? I don't know. Because it seems a lot of these mamas ain't even thinking no more. Like they don't have brains. I don't know what the matter is that's between their ears. Not only do they not have brains, they don't have a conscience. Because you can't have a conscience and do this to your own child. There's no way.
Material was found on her lips, which were very dry and flaking, as well as in her oral cavity, caked to her teeth.
Dr. Mooney said Jalen's body fed upon itself, trying to get nutrients. Her kidneys failed, and based on the decomposition and state of her body, she had likely died 2 or 3 days before her mom returned and discovered her body. Jalen's cause of death was ultimately ruled as starvation and extreme dehydration due to pediatric neglect. The state said none of Jalen's family called their office to ask about the case. Instead, they were more concerned about Candelario. So law enforcement became the voice for the young toddler. Sergeant Teresa Gomez became emotional as she explained Jalen's young life was cut too short for no apparent reason.
This tragedy should have never happened. I am Sergeant Gomez from the Homicide Unit. The entire Homicide Unit, Cleveland Homicide Initiative, and our partners from the FBI are here today in honor of baby Jaylee Candelario. When we were first notified of this horrific case, we were all heartbroken. But when we started digging deeper into the investigation, it was beyond horrific. it was revealed that the defendant, Crystal Candelario, left her own child alone for hours, which led to days, which led to weeks. This 16-month-old baby was left alone in a pack and play to fend for herself for 11 days with no food, maybe milk, the clothing she had on, and the diaper she was wearing. This baby loved her mother, she needed her mother, and her mother betrayed her.
Later, when it came to the defense's turn to speak, Candelario's lawyer, Derek Smith, didn't condone her actions.
Everything that I'm about to get into here today, and my client agrees with me, is no justification for her actions. And what the prosecution said, actions matter, and these actions are narcissistic, selfish, abhorrent, absolutely worst parenting imaginable. She pled to aggravated murder. She pled to child endangering. So everything we're about to tell you is mitigation.
The defense says Candelario was struggling with being a single mother of two.
Fast forward to 2023. It's just overwhelming. She even tried to harm herself. Took 20 Motrin. Ended up in Metro. In early February of 23, after spending just a few days in her room alone, her mother went to check on her, asked her what was going on. Her whole side of her body was numb. Didn't know what was going on. They took her to Hillcrest Hospital. She was admitted there, and they were doing some evaluations for her migraine. She was complaining about headaches and weakness, facial drooping, thought it was possible stroke. They put her on IV Depakote, which is a anti-seizure, also used to treat manic disorder. And at the end of the day, after evaluations, she was clean, nothing wrong with the brain. They gave her oral Depakote and Effexor, 2 antidepressants, and sent her home. She was not very clear on what those were, but she was taking them supposedly as directed. And then she returned to Hillcrest Hospital again in March. And there was a note from the doctor saying that she should have had plenty of Effexor, but she's saying that she's out and she needs more, and she's coming back with the same problems. So they got her evaluated again, and they were saying that her anxiety and her stress was the trigger for these physical manifestations to what was happening to her, for the loss of sensation in the side of her body, the numbness. And they prescribed her more Depakote, more Effexor, and also Atarax to help her sleep, because she wasn't sleeping. And this is in March of 2023.
Here's my problem. I don't give a damn about none of that. It really pisses me off that, now I'm not saying that mental health is not a problem, because it is. It really is. I had my own bout with depression. I had my own bout with uncontrollable anxiety. So I get it. I'm not saying it's not an issue. What I'm saying is I'm tired of it being used as an excuse when we do fucked up stuff, and then we want to turn around and say, oh, because I'm dealing with mental health. She ain't a paranoid schizophrenic. She ain't bipolar. She didn't say she forgot and blacked out and didn't remember leaving her baby there. You're trying to use it as an excuse, and I have a problem with it. I have a serious problem. You knew what you was doing on the beach, letting your toes soak up the sand and the water. You knew what you was doing then, half naked. You knew what you was doing when you was in the arms of the dude that you was in the picture with. You knew what you was doing 2 days after you found out your baby passed away, when you jumped on a plane and went to Detroit, Niecy, your neck of the woods. Went to Detroit because you wanted to go spend time with the dude again. You knew what you were doing. But now you want sympathy because of a mental health issue you had in 2023. This baby is gone. We got to stop allowing people, we have to stop rewarding bad behavior. We got to stop letting people get it. Our justice system is so screwed. I understand a trial if there was no way of disproving, or no way of proving, should I say, that you were guilty of what they said you did. I can understand a trial then. I cannot understand us wasting taxpayer dollars, wasting time and energy on trials when you know for certain that this person was guilty of what they were guilty of. What is the purpose of all of this? She left. She went on a vacation. She left bottles in the crib. She walked out the door. She came back 10 days later. Then she lied. Then after her baby was found deceased, she took another trip. Her mind was lucid enough to do all of this. But you want to sit in court and cry and try to pull the sympathy mental health card. You want to sit in court and try to pull an Uno reverse. Make that trick draw 4. Whatever you thought about giving to her, multiply it by 4. This is crazy. And again, I say, this is what our babies have to deal with. This is who's raising our next generation. And we wonder why we have little Chuckies running around, little Michael Myers running around. We wonder why. Because these are the monsters they have to deal with day in and day out.
And, take the medications as prescribed. And then medications ran out. She wasn't feeling any better. They weren't working. She stopped. We're not supposed to do that with these drugs, Your Honor. These are very serious mental health drugs. And you need to be tapered off of these medications, or there could be some side effects. Not only the side effects, but the actual underlying conditions that she may have had or been suffering from are also going unmedicated this time.
Smith said the photos of Candelario on the beach didn't show the entire story, adding she was hiding her depression from herself and her family. He said there was no justification for Candelario's actions. She could have called authorities or done things differently.
When you're in that state, when you're off medication, mismanaging your thoughts, you're not thinking clearly, her body just, she had to get out, and she was having fun. If she was okay, in her mind, Jaylene was okay. Of course that's not the case. But I will point to when she did finally get home, and we heard that 911 call, she didn't want this to happen. You could hear that. Screaming, help me, my daughter's dying. Yes, because of your actions, because of what your choices were. And you took responsibility for that. But that call, that one tiny breach from whatever was going on in her head, that reality that her daughter was dying, she was calling for help. She didn't want that.
The defense called Candelario's mother and father to speak before the judge, and despite the prosecution saying,
how is it you didn't want that? You wanted exactly what happened because you knew what you was doing when you did it. You didn't think of the outcome. I don't know why you didn't think of the outcome, but you didn't think of the outcome. But you wanted exactly what you got. This wasn't a mistake. We call everything a mistake now. This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is, I'm sorry, I walked past you and accidentally stepped on your shoe. That was a mistake. A mistake is, I bumped your counter and knocked your vase off. That was a mistake. A mistake is, I just fixed my plate and I dropped it. That's a mistake. A mistake is not leaving your 16-month-old by themselves in a crib in a house where anything could have went wrong. An electrical fire, a gas fire, a gas leak, anything. It could have, the weather could have changed, dropped, she could have froze, anything. There could have been a break-in, a burglary, because somebody was watching you leave your house. Anything could have happened to your 16-month-old baby. So you wanted exactly what happened because you did it. If you wanted a different outcome, you would have chosen better options. There was a saying that I learned: you always have freedom of choice. You don't always have freedom of consequence. She had a choice. She chose to go to Puerto Rico for 10 days. The consequence is you came back to your baby deceased. You didn't get to choose the consequence for your actions. And that's one thing that we need to learn. You don't get to choose the consequence for your actions. You don't get to, as a mother, just wake up one day and decide, I can't do it no more. They didn't ask to be here. You made that choice for them. Put on your big girl panties. Sit down and talk to somebody if you need to. And do what needs to be done for those babies. But no, we as mothers these days spend so much time focusing on us. We don't care about nothing else. That's the sad part about all this. We've lost our ability to be nurturers. We want to be hoes and thoughts. We want to be the freak of the week. We want our milkshake to bring all the boys to the yard, but we don't want no kids. Not only do we not want kids, we don't protect ourselves against having them.
Bottle pop, truth drop. Welcome to the show. Champagne secrets.
Now here you are pregnant with a baby you really don't want. And instead of being honest with yourself and saying, you know what, I really don't want this kid. I really don't. We would rather be selfish and keep that baby and put them through hell and torment. No, we ain't talking about the fathers right now. We talking about these momsters, these women. But then they want to be treated like Queen Elizabeth. But you running around behaving like a court jester. And you wonder why men tossing you up like the next pin in his juggling match. It's so saddening. It's angering. Because we've reached this day and age where we don't care about having a standard. We don't care about respect. We don't care about values, core values. We don't care about goals. Hell, majority of this generation, and I can't even say this generation because some of mine behave the same way too. Majority of this generation only cares about what the money can bring them. All you hear them say, I'm about the money, I'm about the money. Money and a Negro. Money and a man. That's all we care about. And y'all just letting these men run through y'all like dirty napkins. They live in two different states. Soon as she flew out, he was probably on to the next. But now your baby is gone. I don't know how on God's green earth somebody could carry something in their body for 9 months. Feel it kicking, feel it moving. Feel it fretting, feel it fighting. Taking your body through changes. Your appetite through changes. Emotionally, you go through changes. And then you turn around and abuse what came out of you. That's it. And they all need to be locked up and tortured. They do. That baby was tortured. Why should she be able to get away with just life in prison after what that infant went through? That baby. See, we got to start putting stuff in perspective. These babies are leaving out of here left and right, and we're getting older and older. If we don't protect the future, then what is the future going to be? It takes the babies and the children to create the future, because they are the future. What is that future going to be if they are thugs, street, serial killers, angry at the world, no social skills whatsoever, no coping skills, disrespectful, no respect, no boundaries, no moral code? And worse than that, unalived. Because they didn't make it. What can our future look like when that's what our children have to deal with? This is sad. But y'all listen, we gonna be covering this for a few days. We may take a break in there to do something fun and funny, but we gonna be covering this for a few days because we really need to deal with these monsters. And we need to really start having conversations about how do we protect the children? How do we look out for the children? How do we change this narrative? Because the narrative can change, but it's going to take people who care enough to do something to change the narrative. Big brother programs, big sister programs. But now you got to be careful because you got so many child abusers out there that you can't just open it up for anybody. Our babies are in trouble. That means our world is in trouble. That means our society is in trouble. Parents got to start back being parents. Parenting doesn't stop when they turn 18. You're still mama and daddy after 18. You're technically not fully grown till you're 21. And as I told my children, that's just a number. You barely a day over legal. You're just in your infancy of adulthood at 21 years old. So parenting doesn't stop just because you turn 20, your child turns 21. Your nieces, nephews, get involved in their lives. Make sure they know if anything is wrong, they can come to you. You'll be their safe space. There used to be safe houses on blocks where kids knew if there was a problem and you couldn't make it home, go to the safe house. They will make sure you're okay. Where are they? Where are they? Where's the safety for our children? Song used to say, who can you run to when you're in love? Who can the kids run to when they need a place to stay? When they need a shelter? our kids are in trouble. But y'all, we're going to continue this one because it's almost 1 o'clock. I might start tomorrow at 10, so we have some extra time. But thank you for joining us in the Champaign City, because this is a conversation that needs to be discussed. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed the show today, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button. Also consider hitting the subscribe button. Join YouTube Champagne Secrets. Yes, baby. Join the Champagne City, baby. Become part of the FizzFam, the Champagne gang. Become a confidant. You see the chat? We friendly here. We all family. You know, and we still planning that meet and greet, but we need to have some discussions on how we gonna get there, because I told y'all it won't be by airplane. No, thank you. But Vegas 2025, October, for Holla of the Wing, it is going down for the Champagne gang and the Lockville fam over there at Father Lock, who just made his 1K subscribers. Please drop some champagne glasses in the chat for Father Lock, who just made his 1K. We are so proud of you. We on our way. We almost there, I'm telling you. We gonna be there soon. Thank you so much for every like, for every view, for every share, for every comment, for jumping in the chat, becoming a part of the family. Even for those who just watch in silence, thank you, because your view counts too. Until next time, Champagne gang, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta.